I'm back, I'm live. Let me turn my brightness up here. Today I'm mainly going to be talking about why I dislike Canada. I won't say hate because hate is a bit too extreme, I guess. I don't necessarily hate Canada, I just really dislike it. I think it's super corrupt and heavily broken, and I think this entire country needs to collapse before it starts to get better. But yeah, one of the main reasons that made me lose hope, Canada as a country, as a functioning society, is the criminal justice system. I think it's extremely broken, and I think they heavily favor women in every aspect. If you're a man, you're gonna be discriminated against in every single aspect, whether it's family courts, civil courts, criminal justice courts. You're gonna be heavily discriminated against. I have court in less than 2 weeks, and they're pushing for 18 months in jail. Forget this. Get this. Instagram messages. 18 months in jail. And I've already done time for these same messages. I've already done time. Granted, it was only like 2 weeks. But like, still, I did, like, you gotta think, 2 weeks isn't a whole lot, but when you're in jail, it feels like a whole lot. And like, you get like sexually assaulted and stuff because the police are like, you know, they're strip searching you, doing all this crazy shit. And I went through all this for Instagram messages. Instagram messages. It's insane, man. And they're pushing for 18 months. And my lawyer isn't even working for me. They're working against me because I'm not even using a public defender. I'm using like the next step above a public defender. I'm not using a private lawyer, but I'm also not using a public defender. I'm using like something in the middle where like I'm supposed to pay them $100 an hour. A private lawyer is like $300 an hour. And I'm like, fuck that, I'm not doing that. But I also didn't want to use a public defender, which is free. So I went for the middle tier where it's like this person is $100 an hour, and I went to her firm, and this girl, like, they have murderers and stuff that they let out in like 2 years and stuff, and they're pushing for 18 months for me. That's almost 2 years for Instagram messages, and they let murderers out in 2 years. Literally people who have actually killed other people, people who have raped people, they let out in 2 years, and they're pushing for 18 months for me, for messages on Instagram. And you know why? Because I messaged a female. Because we live in a fucking matriarchy, and get this, so my lawyer firm is all females. They only hire females. Like, imagine, I find it so funny and hypocritical when, like, in this country, when you see, like, job application, it's like, only hiring people from Pakistan, only hiring people from India, only hiring females. But then, you never see only hiring white people, only hiring males. Like, and you gotta think, like, all these people have their countries. Indians have their own countries, Pakistan people have their own countries. So for white people, our country is Canada. Our country is the UK, is America. So if all of these immigrants take over these countries and they only hire each other, what country do white people have to go to? No country. And like, I'm preparing for all of this because, man, white people and males especially are heavily discriminated against in today's society. I'm telling you, like, the shit I went through is crazy for what I did. Like, I've had people like fucking do like real shit to me, and I never got them arrested for that yet. When I sent Instagram messages, they're pushing for 18 months. 18 months in jail. Like, it's honestly laughable at this point. It's laughable. And let's see what goes on in 2 weeks here. Apparently my ex is supposed to show up in court and give a victim impact statement. And I'm not gonna get into that and all that shit because who knows who's watching this live stream. Please get me watching this live stream. That's all I know. That's not even an exaggeration. I know damn well the police are stalking me. I know damn well my ex is stalking me. I know they stalk me. I know a bunch of people who stalk me. It's funny because these same people are the ones who like called me weird for stalking them. I mean, some of them did, and I know damn well they stalked me. So it's so funny. But these people are like they're like narcissistic, compulsive liars. So like, they're like they'll lie about the weirdest things, like things they don't even have to lie about. They'll lie about for just for the sake of lying. Like I literally know a couple people like that, and my ex is like that, where she doesn't even need to lie about certain things, but she lies just to lie. And I'm not gonna get into like any of that shit too much because I still got ongoing charges, so I'm getting too much into it. But another reason why I haven't cared too much about like getting arrested so much is because, get this, it's very interesting. So I learned this while I was in jail. For every prisoner, at least in this jail, this is what the guards told me, and this is what the other prisoners told me. For every, and this was like 2 years ago that I was in this jail, and yeah, I could be going back, but that's besides the point. But yeah, every day they keep a single individual in jail costs the government $115, and they kept me in there for like 2 weeks. So just in the 2 weeks I was there, I cost them like almost $2,000. And if they keep me there for 18 months, I'm costing them all this money, and that's how like I console myself for like all the shit I've been through, that I've had to gone through for because of the matriarchy we live in. And it's so clear we live in a matriarchy, and nobody wants to say it. Like back when, like, 'cause you know, 100, 200 years ago, we did live in a patriarchy. And back when we lived in a patriarchy, nobody said it was a patriarchy. Just like how today we live in a matriarchy, and nobody says it's a matriarchy. Everybody says it's a patriarchy. At least all these feminists do, and it's totally not. We totally live in a matriarchy. Like, you can say whatever you want about, like, this about this and this about dating, but when it comes to the government does side with females. I wouldn't even say 99% of the time. I would say 100% of the time. I mean, I'd say 99.9% of the time. There's the very odd time that the government will side with the male when the mother is extremely unfit or something like that. But 99.9% of the time they side with the female, because we live in a matriarchy, right? Whether it's the family court, whether it's the civil court, whether it's the criminal justice court, they always side with the female no matter what. And it's so funny how these feminists say that we live in a patriarchy, because it's the exact opposite. But yeah, I'm perfectly fine with it, because there's a saying from, who is it again? I think it's Thomas Jefferson, where this is his quote. It's not just someone's right to disobey tyrannical laws. It's their obligation. And I've disobeyed these laws because they are extremely tyrannical and oppressive against men. And I know most men don't stand up against these type of laws. They just take it sitting down like a bunch of bitches. And if more people were like me and stood up to these laws, the government wouldn't be able to oppress all of us. They wouldn't. And this is how feminism and feminists, and even like black people, like Martin Luther King, how he stopped the oppression of black people, how feminism stopped the oppression of women back in like the 60s and 70s, you know? I mean, feminism today is completely different than what it was in the 60s and 70s, but it's because these groups of people stood up and they stopped the oppression of their race, their gender. Whereas what I'm noticing with males, I mean, it's kind of starting with like the red pill and all that shit, but I mean, an MG Tau, and that stuff is good. I do agree with that stuff, but most of that stuff is kind of just self-improvement. It's not standing up. It's not standing up for yourself or standing up to the government, you know? It's mostly just self-improvement and moving on with your life, which is good. I'm doing that too, but you also got, like, if you don't want this to happen to people in the future, if you don't want this to keep happening, you also got to stand up for yourself and for what you believe is right. And I believe sexually assaulting someone, arresting them, doing all this crazy stuff in the name of justice just because they sent Instagram messages. Wait, what the fuck is this? I didn't even mean to do that. But yeah, it's like, that's what they did. What the fuck? They sexually assaulted me, because that's what a strip search is. I mean, if I went up to someone on the street and I made them strip and I searched their ass and their balls and shit, like, that's sexual assault. That's what the police did to me multiple times. If I locked someone in a cell for weeks, I mean, that's kidnapping, that's imprisonment, right? And that's what they did to me for Instagram messages. And that's completely tyrannical, that's completely oppressive, and I will not stand for that stuff. I mean, you can keep doing that to me, but I won't stand for it. The only crimes I committed were back in 2020 when I tried to assault someone. And I didn't even assault him because he ran from me. He ran from me and he hid in the car. And the only two actual crimes I committed was attempted assault, which they charged me with actual assault, even though it was an attempted assault, but they charged me with assault. And I did smash their mirrors out. I punched the fucking mirrors out because I couldn't punch the window out. I mean, like, I was like 19 at the time. I wasn't as strong as I am today, and fucking I almost broke my fist trying to punch that window out. So once my fists were all fucked up, I just punched the fucking windows out because I was pissed off. And those are the only two crimes I committed. That was back in 2020, right? And the buddy ran from me. I should have got attempted assault, and I should have got damage to property. I mean, I think it's called mischief, right? And I paid like $250 to replace those mirrors. Like, I did all that shit, man. I paid for my crimes already. But Instagram messages, that is not a crime. Fuck you. You will never convince me that's a crime. I'm sorry. But I'm just being honest. Like, you can never convince me. Unless it's like plot for terrorism, right? And you catch terrorists in the act and you know they're in a terrorist group. That's the only time I could see Instagram messages maybe being used in the court of law. But like, being like, fuck you, I hate you, bitch,
You there,
I'll fucking kill
traveler.
you. Like, that's
Over
not,
here.
I'm sorry, that's like, that's my freedom of speech. You can call that hate speech, you can call that whatever you want. You can even call it harassment, but like, it's fucking harassment over the internet. That should be up to Instagram to regulate, not the fucking government, not the police. I'm sorry, like, and I've been quiet on this shit for so long, but I just gotta put it out there, man. Like, I know nobody watches my live streams, but it's fine. Like, I just gotta put it out there in the world that this shit is like oppressive, it's tyrannical, it's totally wrong, and I'm standing up for my rights. I am. Just as these people, this person who charged me has rights, I have rights as well, and my rights have been completely neglected and voided just because of my gender. And yeah, I sound angry, but I'm not angry about it anymore. I've gotten over it, and I've cost the government way more than they've costed me. So fuck those fuckers. But honestly, I've only ever committed two, I wouldn't even call them, I'd call them petty crimes, right? Like an attempted assault. Like, that's a petty crime. Punching out some mirrors, that's a petty crime. That's not a real crime. I didn't have any weapons on me. It wasn't assault with a deadly weapon or anything, you know, it was a petty crime. And those are the only two crimes I ever committed in my life. Yet, I've already done 2 weeks in jail. I've paid all these fines, all this bail. I've been on probation and bail for 4 fucking years, and they're pushing for 18 more months. And this motherfucker is gonna show up in court and give her victim impact statement. I don't give a fuck about your victim impact statement. I'm sorry, but that's just me being honest, okay? And you people, no matter what you do to me, will never convince me that Instagram messages is a crime. Alright? I'll stop doing it. Like, I stopped sending Instagram messages like 2 years ago because I don't care anymore. I don't care about that bitch. I don't want anything to do with her, okay? But I was sending those messages because back then, like, I was pissed off, and like, you know, like, fucking, I have a right to my freedom of speech. You can take offense to it. You can feel offended. You can feel, oh, that's so wrong. Oh, that's so scary. You can feel however you want about it. But I have my rights just as you have your rights, right? So, leave me the fuck alone too. You tell me I'm harassing, you tell me I'm doing all this shit. What did I ever do to you in person? Besides try to punch out your fucking boyfriend. Your ex-boyfriend, I guess. What did I ever do to you in person? That's all I did. That's all I did. Meanwhile, what did you do to me? Oh yeah, I spent 2 weeks in jail. I've had all these court dates. I've had all these probation officers. Like, fuck off. Like, fuck off, man. I paid for my crimes. I have. I paid for my crimes. More and tenfold. I paid for my crimes tenfold. And you're still pushing for 18 months? You still want to act like you're the victim? I ain't no victim either. I ain't no victim. Like, I don't got no victim mindset. I'm not gonna make myself out to be a victim. I'm no victim for the shit I've been through just because I've been through way more than you. I ain't no victim. But neither are you, motherfucker. Yeah. If they ever see this shit, they're gonna be like, oh, look at this. He's not sorry for his crimes. He has no sympathy. He has no I do take accountability for the shit I said and stuff, but I mean, I still think what you did was impressive, right? Like, just because I did something slightly bad and you did something way worse doesn't mean I don't take accountability. It's just I know what you did was way worse. It was way more wrong. So like, fuck you people. I do take accountability, but I don't have sympathy. I'm sorry. And I'm not going to send any more messages. I'm not going to do that shit. Like, I'm done with that shit. I agree that what I did was immature in a lot of ways. And I mean, I was only like 19, 20 years old when I did that shit. So like, of course, you don't, like, do you expect me to be the most wise person ever at 19, 20? Like, fuck you people, man. Like, I agree what I did was immature, but I'm not gonna cry about it and be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I can't believe how much that affected you. No, fuck her. She never cared about anything that she did to me. Like, and you expect me to care about this tiny little detail of like, oh my god, you scared her. No, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You know how many times I've felt scared in my life and I didn't go to the police? I just fucking dealt with it myself. Whether that was getting in my mind about it and be like, okay, you're overthinking this, or like just getting away from the situation. I've been scared plenty of times in my life, and I never went to the police for it. I never went, oh my god, it's scaring me. Like, no. What the fuck? That's weird, man. It's so weird. Going to the police because you feel scared? The law shouldn't care about your feelings, how you feel. That's how you feel. Did I do anything to you? No. So fuck off. If you want to be left alone, maybe consider this. Leave me alone. Wow! What a crazy thought! What a crazy thought, right? For someone to leave you alone, you gotta leave them alone? Oh my! That is such an insane thought. How could you ever consider that? Dumb fucks. Yeah, I'm clearly still pretty emotional about it, but I have moved on from it. Like, I've learned that I've cost them way more than they've cost me, and if they keep trying to pursue this shit, they're just gonna keep costing themselves more money. It doesn't cost me anything. The only thing it costs me is time, and I got plenty of time. I got all the time in the world, motherfuckers. I prefer not to get arrested. I would prefer it, but if it happens, I mean, it happens. Like, it's a corrupt government. It's completely corrupt, and they're only hurting themselves. I mean, yeah, they're only hurting themselves. They do a little bit of damage to me. It's like they give me a paper cut, but I give them a fucking broken arm, you know? So whatever. Like, just leave me alone. Honestly, leave me alone. I'm leaving everyone else alone. Leave me alone. It's literally all it is. And if you guys are going to keep harassing me, then don't tell me not to harass anyone else. It's as simple as that. It really is. It's very simple. I overthink things many times, and it seems like these fucking people in the courts, and the lawyers, and all these people way overthink shit. Like, most of the shit I said, like 90% of the shit I said in those Instagram messages was literally jokes. Like, I said a lot of like crazy shit, but it was like all, like, that's my sense of humor. Everyone has a different sense of humor. And fucking, I didn't bitch when people have their sense of humor and I don't like it. So why the fuck are you bitching about my sense of humor? Fuck. Honestly, people are like the biggest fucking hypocrites ever. Because they don't just do what you do, but they do what you did, but like 10 times worse, right? So like the biggest fucking hypocrites ever, because they'll do what you did and then do it 10 times worse and expect you not to do it again, because it, like, yeah. Like, aren't I supposed to be the criminal? Aren't I supposed to be the scumbag? Yeah, you expect me to take all the accountability, you expect me to do all of the responsible shit. Meanwhile, you guys are the irresponsible douchebags, and I'm supposed to be the criminal, right? I'm supposed to be the scumbag, right? But you expect me to take all the accountability. Funny how that works, right? And I do take accountability. I do take accountability that what I said was immature. I do take accountability that I shouldn't have said that stuff, but I don't take accountability for how she felt about it. She felt scared. I don't care. That's how she feels. She controls that. I don't control that. She can feel whatever she wants about it. She can feel happy about it. She can feel fucking whatever the fuck she wants about it. I don't care. That's up to her. That's not up to me. Don't tell me how she feels about it. I've felt many things in my life, and I didn't go to the police about it. Motherfuckers. Bitches. For real. Don't come to bitch to me about it because you have feelings. Nobody give a fuck when I had my feelings. Right? The only people who fucking care was my family. So don't come bitch to me and be like, oh, you should feel so sorry for me because you sent me messages. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You know what you did to me? Maybe consider that, bitch. You didn't give a fuck back when you did to me. I don't give a fuck when I did it to you. It's the truth. Call yourself a victim all you want. That victim mindset's only going to do you worse. It's not going to do you good. So you should get out of that fucking victim mindset. I learned that from a young age. You can't do that shit. Because that victim mindset only takes away. It doesn't give you anything. It only takes away. You got to get out of that victim mindset. And you got to get out of hatred too. And I know it sounds like I have a lot of hatred, but I don't. I just have a court date coming up. And I think 18 months is completely unreasonable, completely tyrannical, completely oppressive because of my gender. Leave me the fuck alone. I thought I'm supposed to be the harasser. I haven't messaged this bitch in 2 years. And you're still coming after me? She's gonna come up to my city. She's gonna come into my courtroom and talk to me and be like, oh, you should feel so bad for me because of her victim impact statement? No, like, leave me alone. Aren't I supposed to be the harassment? Like the harasser? Like, leave me the fuck alone. You people are harassing me. I've been over this shit for years now. I really have. I still have some resentment about it. That'll never go away, but like, leave me the fuck alone. Bitches. Fucking losers. Got nothing better to do than fucking bring me to court every couple months and make me talk to a bail officer who agrees that my charges are bullshit. Like, you can tell every time I talk to my bail officer, like, he knows this shit's bullshit. Because, like, once you get to know me and know how this bitch is, it's like, okay, I understand why you did this shit. But when these courts look at it from, like, face value on a piece of paper, it's like, he said this, he said that, he said that. It's like, yeah, it's all he said, she said shit, but you don't understand the actual context of the situation. You don't care to. You just want to frame me as the fucking criminal and her as the victim, and that's all you want to do. It's just completely black and white when the true story is gray. You know, it's in the middle, but they just want to frame it as black and white. The goofy ass motherfuckers they are. Just want to waste a bunch of money and time and effort when there's real criminals out there. My buddy Joel was shot to death 4 months ago. They still haven't got the guy who killed him, yet they're pursuing me for messages on Instagram. Like, what the hell? Maybe get the murderers off the street. Huh? Is that not reasonable? Maybe get the people who are shooting people off the street, right? Maybe stop pursuing the guy who sent messages on Instagram 2 years ago? Right? Right? Is that not reasonable? Motherfuckers. Seriously. There's zero critical thinking in this society. Zero critical thinking. Absolutely no critical thinking skills. Dumbass motherfuckers, I swear to God. Yeah, I just had to get that out there. Just had to get that out there, because, yeah. I haven't got that worked up in a while. I truly am over this shit. It's just, yeah, I got this court date coming up. And I'm not even nervous about it, because no matter which way the verdict is, I'm going to win in the end. Because if they sentence me to jail, I'm going to use up a bunch of government money, which benefits me because of my investments. And because when the government uses more money, they have to use inflation money. And I'm benefiting from high inflation on my investments. And if they don't sentence me to jail, then whatever. They don't sentence me to jail. But yeah, that's why I'm so worked up about it right now. I mean, I think like 12 days, my court date. That's fucked. That's so fucked. This shit was 2 years ago. It's crazy how they consider me the harasser. Like it was Instagram messages, man. It was on the internet, and it was like over 2 years ago, and you guys are still being like, "Oh, we need to sentence him to 18 months in jail. He's such a threat to society." Oh my God. What about the guy who murdered my friend 4 months ago in cold blood? Shot him to death in his own trailer. My buddy, he was my old friend, let him live with him in his trailer, and this guy shot him to death like 4 or 5 months ago, and they still haven't got the guy. Like, come on. You fucking kidding me? You're coming after me when there's all these... Crime rate is at an all-time high in Canada, and you're coming after me. Bunch of goofy-ass motherfuckers, I swear. They're not doing their job.
What with my satchel anyway?
Don't play this game. I wasn't even focusing on the game, really. That's it.